Yeah, you pissed off.
Did you lose? I thought you did. All right, so and I was thinking about getting up tomorrow morning and going to work out.
Getting snow tomorrow too.
That's why I'm trying to get up early so I can go work out and get it done so I can get in and just watch the Super Bowl and which I don't really care. But we'll talk about that. But we have a special guest on
Big
today,
guest.
a fan of the show.
Superstar.
New Orleans' own.
The voice of the city.
Dr. Wyatt. Let's give a round of applause for Dr. Wyatt.
Yeah.
The voice of the city.
I try.
Legendary.
Normally, Doctor, we normally go around the table and see how everybody doing. We started this early. Earlier, we did our own little website reveal this early today.
Congratulations.
We totally appreciate it. We feel like we've accomplished something over here.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited about that, man. But we want to dive into what's going on tomorrow. This is a big game tomorrow. It's a big one. And we want you, and you know, we're gonna do you how we do this round table. We ain't coming off. You're gonna be a part of us today.
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be no special question just for you. It's gonna be a round table discussion. And you're gonna be right up in there. You're gonna dial in with us and let us know how you feel.
All right. And speak your mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Speak your mind.
Oh, she does that well.
Look, I don't want to hear you boycotting those sports because you don't know what's going on. You know like Super Bowl.
Listen,
I don't
I'm
want to
ready.
hear about you boycotting. I don't hear
I'm ready.
Well, let me ask you, before we get to the Super Bowl question, let me ask you a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you keep up a little bit with your Aints?
I did actually. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you feel about Drew Brees possibly coming back?
Listen, I don't need him to come back. I didn't want him to be here this season. I think it's time for him to just retire and go into broadcasting or whatever it is, make some more babies, whatever makes him happy.
He do be making them babies.
We need somebody that's gonna throw the ball beyond 20 yards. You know, we need somebody that can give Michael Thomas his due diligence, and he's just not it right now. I mean, he gave us a Super Bowl. He gave us a Super Bowl. He did his job, but as with everything, it has its time and its place, and his is up. He needs to retire and do what's best for the team.
Hey, Dr. Wyatt.
Yes.
I got a question though. Y'all wasn't complaining when Michael Thomas was catching the 5 and 10 yard routes last year and the year before.
He did have 150 catches last year. I just want to make sure you know that. He did have 150 catches the year before.
Listen, here's the thing.
And he's the best receiver in the league.
I'm not complaining now. I actually do not like the way NFL stats are made. I don't like the fact that quarterbacks get the yardage after the catch. I don't like that. So, I mean, I'm not against the short throws or whatever, but at the end of the day, when the game is on the line and we need a deep threat, he's just not it. And I think for me, watching a little bit of the Saints this season, I think the organization's love for Drew Brees cost us an opportunity to play deeper into the playoffs. And that's just my opinion.
But that's greatness, right? I think a lot of franchises are loyal to their great quarterbacks.
That's fine.
It's hard to move on sometimes.
But you got to love what loves you back. And you have to put self on a back burner when it's going to do better for the team as a whole. And I just think even to the idea of the backup quarterbacks, I don't think I like the guy, but he looks like more of a tight end than he is a quarterback. And I don't think that they ought to put him in a position to battle for the quarterback spot. He's fine when you come in with all of these trick plays and everything, but longevity as a quarterback, no. He's
Ho, Keith. She gave him school. She did a great job on that one when you were saying Tatum should be the quarterback.
I never said that. I said they should give him an opportunity to see what we have. That's what I said.
What is that? Give him a chance to be a quarterback.
But they did. You saw that for, 5 games. And you see he's not like.
But you wasn't saying that, though.
Hold on, bro.
You in Texas.
No. you quick, just like you said, I bet at you last week, bro.
What you said in the text? What you said in the text?
I said, this is what I said. I said, we should give him an opportunity when Drew got hurt to see, can he be a quarterback? Over 4 games, I agree with her. He's not the long term if you're trying to win a Super Bowl.
You want to say that when y'all was playing James and he was putting and he was.
But after you look at it, that's what I'm saying. I had to look and see. That's what I wanted to do. We gave him an opportunity, and we see he can't lead us to a Super Bowl. He can win a few games, but like they got tape on him. They know what he can do, and he couldn't adjust. He couldn't read different routes. If it wasn't wide open,
read different coverages.
He's not gonna throw it.
But I agree with you, Dr. Wyatt, and I agree with everybody on the table. And I also agree that Drew Brees wasn't what he's going to be. That's why I bet somebody $100 that he was not going to be what he's going to be. And I won. $100 because I knew you guys were going to probably fade out in the second round, which you've done actually for consecutive seasons.
Yep.
You fade out in the playoffs,
Yeah.
but your defense is strong, and it's tough that, in this division that you had an all-time great come in, and that was gonna be the problem. Having Tom Brady come in, who knows how to win the playoffs, not gonna put your team in any mistakes, and we're here where we're at now. Yeah. So I totally agree with what you're saying. I have a follow-up question with that with you though. So knowing that if you're Jameis and you knew that you probably was a better quarterback than Drew Brees was when he finished the season, would you, if you're Jameis, would you resign? I hear the chatter. I hear they want him back. But would you want to resign with an organization that probably should have played you even before Taysom Hill? They should have played you.
Well, I will resign because at the end of the day, I mean, his character to me is bigger than the selfishness about what he should have played me. I think the bigger picture is he has a good team around him. The defense is amazing. I think DeMario Davis and Cam Jordan should have been playing further into the season, and Drew Brees did them a disservice. That the defense did what they were supposed to do. I just think our front office, like I said, that we have this love fest with Drew Brees. He could run for mayor right now in the city, and I think he might win. But, I think, to me, he should have put the totality of the team in front of his selfish need to break all of these records and do all of these things that he wanted to do for his personal, portfolio. But to me, the Saints missed the mark year in and year out because we are selfish when it comes to who is throwing the ball for us. That's just my personal opinion,
And I second that motion.
I third that, Jay.
I'm
going against that. I think because I think in Jameis' situation, not having OTAs, not having preseason, it's one thing to do it in practice, but doing it in the game is totally different.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Who had OTAs? Who had it?
Exactly.
Everybody.
Right, but Drew don't need it.
Nobody had that.
Taysom's been in the system for 4 years, right? It's a difference.
But so what's the difference between a veteran quarterback like Jameis and a quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, who's a rookie?
Right, that totally.
He had an OTA. It's not totally different.
Say, bro, listen.
It's two different systems. Two new quarterbacks, two different systems.
But Jameis learning a totally new system.
So is he.
But he came in.
I like you and all.
What you're saying don't make sense. It doesn't.
Hold on.
It makes a total amount of sense.
But these people are professionals. This is what they're paid to do.
Absolutely, I get it.
You have OTAs to do your job. Everybody's in the same.
It does. When Jameis coming from Bruce Arians' system, right? You even saw Tom Brady have to adjust to it.
What does that got to do with?
I think
with James not playing.
If Sean would have put Jameis in, you're doing him a disservice. When he came in,
I'm
gonna tell you prime example. When Drew got hurt in the 49er game, Jameis played the whole second half, right?
Okay.
You saw how nervous he looked. He had one play where he damn near threw it to the linebacker. Well, I'm just saying.
What does that got to do with anything?
Hold on, Ray. It's the difference in putting the man in during the game as to giving him a full week of practice.
Because he promised Taysom the opportunity to play, though.
Guess what?
You would lose the locker room like that, though.
You promised a lot of people a lot of stuff.
But you would lose the locker room because he might have. That's what I'm saying. But if you don't start Taysom,
you lose a locker room by stat chasing, and that's basically what made.
You're gonna play Drew. Drew gave us the best opportunity to win.
That's a jubilee.
We went
to Jubilee.
He didn't get us the best.
That's a jubilee.
He didn't get us the best opportunity.
You believe that? Nobody else believes that.
So if that's the case, the last 4 years, you think it was all Drew the reason why we lost?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you not see how he played? Did you watch the Rams game? You think that play was on the reason? They lost because Drew Brees did not play great. He didn't play great against the Eagles. He didn't play great against the Rams. He didn't play great against the Vikings.
Okay.
No. Either all of them.
All right. Okay. He didn't play great.
Let me say this. I also believe that this Captain Saver mentality that his wife came out with this whole he was playing all injured. I don't think it didn't help him to me because if you were that injured, you should have set yourself down and let somebody else play so that you give your team the best opportunity to win. I'm just telling you, a quarterback is no different than a CEO of an organization. You have to make the best decisions. A business decision. This is business. It's recreation for us to watch, but this is business for these people. These are professional athletes. I just think it's an excuse to say no OTAs. Nobody had that. Everybody's on
but Drew don't need it
when it comes to that. Oh yes, he needed it. Obviously, that's why we were on the couch early. He needed it.
I don't think so another quick thing. Another quick question. So when a quarterback struggles, right? And then Drew has struggled the last 4 years. I'll never say he hasn't. He didn't play up to Drew's standard.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
Use Tom Brady for example.
Mm-hmm.
You think Tom Brady played great against the Saints? No, hear me out. DC, yes or no? Did he play great?
But the thing was, he didn't turn the ball over 3 times.
Okay, Green Bay. He turned it over 3 times in the second half. Right? Tom Brady didn't play great, but they won. Right? But so if the Saints would have won from a defense standpoint.
I know you ain't blaming this on
I'm not blaming nobody. I'm using examples. When the quarterback don't play great, your team can still win.
This I'm gonna debunk what you're saying. So you're trying to say you're trying to base it off Tom Brady's performance in those last 2 playoffs.
I'm just saying he didn't play great, just like Drew didn't play great.
Hold on. But if Drew Brees would have played like Tom Brady did in the first half against Green Bay, you would have beat.
Probably. Yes, sir.
Tampa Bay.
We would have been up by 21
You would have beat Tampa Bay. So that's the difference.
I agree.
And let's not forget, the NFL does not love the Saints the way that they love Tom Brady. Let's just throw that off in there. Let's just be fair.
I ain't trying to hear all that.
Oh, the NFL hates the Saints. Stop it.
I'm with you on that. But James made a great point. Tom Brady did play a great first half. Drew Brees sucked the whole game.
He didn't play great, though.
No, the first half.
He did not play great in that. The Saints game, he did not. Saints game, he did not.
I'm talking about.
I said when he played.
He mentioned the Green Bay game.
I did. We did. You said Green Bay game.
It was that he played great. The Packers left opportunity.
No, he capitalized
in the first half.
That don't make him playing great though.
He didn't play great.
That's what you're supposed to do.
He didn't play great, bro.
I'm not saying
okay, he scored.
I'm not gonna say that he.
But I'm gonna put it like this:
they got a fumble.
He has not had a great playoff to me.
They got a fumble early. It was on the 10-yard line.
Okay,
and then the dumb cornerback gave up a play.
Okay,
that ain't got nothing to do with.
Guess what? Hold on. Guess what? He could have overthrown Michael Evans and didn't catch the ball at all. At the end of the day, you can't take away from him making the throw.
He's not taking away from him.
He is taking away from him because he's basically trying to say, no, nobody's saying he's playing great.
He didn't play great.
Firstly, y'all just trying to jump on anything.
No, he didn't play great.
Nobody said he played great. Nobody just said that. I said, if you watch how he played the first half against the Packers, if Drew Brees would have played like that against Tampa Bay, you'd have won the game. He did not play like that against what Tom Brady did in the first half. And that's why you lost.
Well,
stop trying to act
that
like
ain't the reason
why. It wasn't able to help it out either when he got the ball punched out. And it was upsetting.
But hold on. Did the Saints not have 2 punt returns? Almost 2
Absolutely.
So you didn't get a touchdown.
So is that Drew fault or is that the play caller?
No, that was a play caller.
He threw one to Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas didn't get his feet down.
I know that was here, bro.
He threw one of them to Michael Thomas, and Michael Thomas didn't get his feet down.
So we can talk about the Super Bowl with Dr. Wyatt. Everybody trying to hear all that.
So the difference is, like you said, when we was in the red zone, we couldn't score a touchdown. But because he's so limitation of what he can throw. Tom Brady got turnovers, he got touchdowns. And that's different in the game.
It's a simple equation.
Yes.
Even when the play that the dude came through, the safety came through for Tampa Bay and knocked the ball out. That normally, in a play like that, especially they running back, Green Bay has a great running back. Aaron Jones, I think it's Andrew Jones actually. Aaron Jones, he knocked the ball out of it. Normally that you don't see that happen, but the fact that Tom Brady came right back and scored a touchdown, he capitalized. Could he drive the ball 70 yards? Probably not. But at the end of the day,
we was in the red zone.
When they got there in the red zone, he made them pay.
And Drew Brees didn't make the play.
So let's cut that out. Let's talk about the Super Bowl right quick. Let's talk. Dr. Wyatt, we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl because man, this dude right here over here.
He always make excuses.
Ray trying to make excuse for Brees.
He always make excuse for
Brees. Listen, I don't dislike Brees. I just think that to me, if you really love the team and you really love these athletes and you want to see them do well, you'd have put the team above yourself. And that I don't think he did that. I don't think
NFL. Nobody's doing that.
No, they do that.
Who?
Organization does that.
Ray Lightskin. That's
I'm saying who?
Got this love affair with him.
Man, NFL, them boys trying to get paid. Them boys about getting their money. At the end of the day in NFL.
That's exactly
money and stats.
I think the reason my last topic on this, I think the reason they didn't play James is because if he get in there and he look great, and then you bring Drew.
You can't go back to Drew.
You can't go back to Drew.
That's the reason why. And that circles back to the front office having a love. That's what.
But I'm saying that's the reason Sean Payton knew If this boy get in there, he throwing bombs down the field.
Yes.
Everybody happy.
He ball out.
He's ball out. You can't go back to Drew.
You know what, though? That's the problem I got with Sean Payton because you need to get it done.
But that's what she was saying, though.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Doctor, I'm gonna start with you about this breakdown for the Super Bowl. Tell me how you feel about both teams being the Bucks and the Chiefs. Tell me about both teams. What you're feeling of both teams, and who you feel is gonna win this game.
Well, I'm gonna just come out the gate with I think KC is gonna win the game.
Okay, I like it.
I think, but I have a selfish motive. One of my students plays for Kansas City, Darrell Williams. And I think, to me, they just have the edge. I think Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, that's a combination that's just going to be hard to stop. Absolutely. I do think that, for me, you can never count on Brady at all, ever. Just ever.
Absolutely.
But
I know firsthand.
But I also believe that I think that the Bucs defense has an opportunity to capitalize on the fact that Mahomes is playing without two of his offensive linemen. So you got to get at him. Right. You have to get at him. You can come up out that pocket and do something. But I also I think it's going to be very, very hard to contain Hill. Very hard. And I mean, when I look back at because I prepared to talk to y'all. When I look back at the Week 12 game, I knew you were going to be ready. Yeah, they made the adjustments in the second half, but if they start out the way they started out Week 12, they're going to lose this game in the first half. But I think that the coaches have figured out that they have to double them, and that's why I think Darrell Williams is going to be a sleeper for this game because you're going to be focused on Hill, you're going to be focused on Kelsey, and I think he's going to be able to put some yards on the field giving him the ball, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for him. I want to see him ball out. But if you ask me who the edge goes to, I think all around – KC is going to win this game, and it's going to be a good one, but they're going to win. They're going to repeat.
Okay. Donnie, your take?
I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going with KC too. And I think this is my reason for going with KC. Spagnuolo has beaten Brady twice in the Super Bowl on the defensive side of the ball. He knows in and out about Brady. And he has a better quarterback this time with Mahomes than when he had with Eli Manning. And he got better weapons, and I think that by him playing twice against Brady, he knows a lot about what Brady's tendencies is, what he likes to do and what he don't like to do. And I think that Andy Reid is a better coach than Bruce Arians. And I think a lot of times, we gave Andy Reid his glory for winning last year. But I think if he wins this Super Bowl, this really put a stamp on his career as a coach and as a professional coming from Green Bay, Philly, and all these other places that he's coached at. I think this really would put a stamp on him as a Hall of Famer, as a great coach. That would put him up there. For real. So I think, Mahomes don't have his two tackles, but this is the NFL. Andy Reid has been around long enough to know how these guys get ready. And a lot of guys who haven't played so much during the year, this is the time when they'll make their money. And they know this. A lot of times people think, he lost his two tackles. But guess what? A lot of times when these guys are put in these situations, they come and ball out, and they don't give up sacks. So, and I think Mahomes know that. They done been with these guys all year. They're a team, and they well connected. And I do think that Williams is going to make a good contribution because he can catch the ball at the backfield. I do think my man from LSU is going to do a great job because he can catch the ball at the backfield. And you got my man Bell can catch the ball at the backfield and run the ball as well. So they got a whole bunch of weapons. And I think they're going to chip Pierre-Paul. Him and Devin Bush are great edge rushers. Without any question, without any doubt, if you argue that, then you're crazy. They are great edge rushers. And Todd Bowles is going to blitz. He's going to blitz because he's going to try to take advantage of the matchup. But I do think Andy Reid has a plan to chip those guys and get them running backs and stuff in the flats to make plays. So I'm going with the Chiefs. I think they win by 10.
Can I say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I actually want them to blitz Mahomes because I think that kid is gifted, and I think he do his best ball playing under pressure. But my other selfish motive for wanting the Chiefs to win is because I think Bieniemy is going to get a head coaching job if they win this Super Bowl. That's my other selfish motive.
But you know what? I don't think Bieniemy. I think Bieniemy at the point now that he should have had a coaching job, and he's just going with the flow. Because in his mind, it's like, okay, look, I know I got the talent to be a head coach. I know I got the talent to do this and do that, and it's not happening for me yet. But you know what? For him to go through what he's going through I think this is just going to make him that much better as a coach.
I think
it'll
be hard to deny him a head coaching job.
And it's bad that it's doing it.
On the wall for the NFL if they deny him a head coaching job after he's gone back to back like this. I just think I think it's very telling, especially with the whole, Colin Kaepernick thing when the NFL is now starting to come around talking about they owe him a debt of gratitude. If that's what you owe him, then give Ben a job. Give all of these black coaches jobs who deserve them. I mean, the white coaches get more chances. They have more lives than cats in the NFL when it comes down to it.
Facts.
You're right.
I mean,
they do.
It's time to give black head coaches an opportunity to show and prove what they can do. And you can't know what they can do unless you give them the helm of a football organization and let them do what they're paid to do. So.
And the sad thing about it is they're hiring coaches younger than me, 37, 38.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Young cats just fresh out of special teams coach, somebody hanging out doing film work, they getting them head coaches. And I'm looking like, how are you giving them head coaches? And he a special teams guy? Like, come on, man. I
told y'all the last time I talked to y'all, everything in this world is about racism and classism. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went back and forth with this one, man. I think it's gonna be a great Super Bowl, but I ain't gonna lie. It's just hard to bet against Brady, but and my home is so clutch. But I think, and I just love Devin White, but I think he's gonna be a big factor in the Super Bowl, man. That boy from LSU. I want the Saints to draft that boy so bad. I don't think KC gonna be able to run the football. You can't run them little swing dumb passes because them linebackers from Tampa run sideline. Yep. I think about his two offensive line being hurt, Pierre Paul and them guys. I think they're gonna be able to get a lot of pressure on them. But what it's gonna come down to is, I think who had the ball last. I think which offense had the ball last gonna win the Super Bowl. But I just got a reason, man. I think Brady might pull it off, bro. I just got
going time, baby, making Brady.
I just got a feeling, man.
So my thing is, you're a betting man, Keon.
If I was a betting man,
he ain't got no money. He ain't got no money.
If I was a betting man, I wouldn't want to put my money against Brady. Not saying
that's not what I asked you. That's a non-question. Are you a betting man?
We gotta make a bet personal because I might want some.
Either way, you can make it personal. You can make it business. You still gonna lose.
Okay.
We'll talk about that offline.
We gotta put that on air.
No, let's talk about that online.
Yeah, we put that online. We need that online.
We'll talk about that offline. We'll talk about that situation offline.
I'm a soul snatcher either which way. You know that already. So let's go.
Wow. Touch.
Well,
we got that boy. You got that boy blushing out here. See how you got that boy sweating and blushing?
I mean, because I heard you say KC not gonna be able to run the ball, and that's directly in contrast to what my take was. So it seems to me like you're on the opposite side of what I want. So that sounds like a bet to me.
Okay. But listen. I will say it's a lot of LSU players on both sides of the team, right?
It could be a lot of LSU players on both sides, but there's 3 New Orleanians on that in this game.
Let's stick with the game.
Okay, but who my X factor gonna be in the Super Bowl? He's starting to come on. He's starting to look like the boy from LSU. I think Fournette gonna have a huge game in this game. I think running.
And I feel the same way about Darrell Williams. But I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, Fournette is New Orleans. He 2,600. He over there from St. Aug, and Darrell from John Ehret. And then we got the honey badge on defense over there, for KC. So, I mean, you can say all of the pretty stuff you want. What's your answer? You betting or not?
Calling you out,
dog. No, let's get it. Ray, give your opinion.
We're gonna make a bet.
So right. we'll figure out that bet in a second. We got to move forward.
Like I said, man, it's hard to count out Brady, no doubt about it.
They're
going to be in the game. Like, dude just find a way. He may not be playing great. He just find a way. If you give him that last drive, he just finds a way. But I think Mahomes is just so special, bro.
Yes.
Regardless of his tackles, he look how the Saints played him. Like, we put so much pressure on. Dude was still moving his feet, getting away, bro, and just they going to get open. And I don't think Tampa Bay's style in the secondary being so aggressive, what they did against Green Bay and what they did against the Saints, they can't do against KC. There's just too much speed. And granted, you got David and you got Wyatt at the linebacker spot. That boy Kelsey is a problem. a straight up problem, bro. And they do so much misdirection with them jet sweeps and fake jet sweeps. You got to hold. I don't care how fast you are. So I think KC, bro, gonna win by 7. It's just Mahomes just special, bro. And that dude is on another level right now, regardless of tackles being out. I just think he's gonna pull it out, bro.
He's special.
Dude's special, bro.
Special. Ain't no lie to
It's hard to check him, bro. That speed is unmatched.
And he's gonna be a problem because they're gonna try to overcompensate for Kelsey and for Hill. So
and bro, McCall Home, gonna get up top on you.
And you know what's sad? What's really sad about that is they're gonna move Hill around, so you can't double team.
Can't.
That's why he's gonna be in. That's why they're gonna put him in motion. They're gonna move him all because they're gonna put him in the backfield. So now
I can tell you one thing: the safeties for Tampa Bay gonna have to come with the A game. You gonna have to play,
bro. And they got burned the first game.
Hey, but I think make that adjustment.
What adjustment you gonna make?
They gonna double Tyreek.
You can't.
But you can't.
If you put somebody in motion, you cannot.
Okay, I get you saying. So when he run a shot routes, the linebackers just gotta pop his ass. They just gotta make him pay every time you catch it, come across that middle.
He don't. But he run deep routes.
He don't run a lot of middle routes.
But if he run deep routes, you double. But if he comes short, we punish him.
So what's he gonna do with Salmon and Hart?
Salmon might have a big game.
Somebody, you have to let somebody have a game.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins might have a big game.
Sammy, I got
you. Okay,
yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
You can't take away everything, but you gotta be able to take away. I'm not letting Tyreek Hill and Kelsey beat me. I'm not letting them two beat me.
It's gonna be tough.
Anybody else want to catch the ball? That's fine, but I'm not letting them two.
It's gonna be tough.
I'm not letting them beat me. It's kind of like when you playing NBA. I let somebody get a 50 points, but I'm gonna stop everybody else.
How?
It can be done. You can scheme to do it.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, man. And
well, unlike the NBA, the NFL don't have a boxing one, so ain't no.
and
let's just be clear.
Dr. Right, though. I mean, a lot of everything she's saying is actually on point. You just don't have the recipe for everybody. They can go in different directions. The thing is, though, and Dr. Wyatt put this out earlier. What are they going to do about missing their offensive tackle, the right tackle and the left tackle? Shaq Barry is a problem. Shaq Barry is a problem, and what Tampa tends to do is do a five-man rush, do a 5-line rush, right? They bring the linebacker, which is Devon White, or they bring David. So they get Lamont David, what is his last name? But they just the simple fact they have that 5-man rush, that mush rush, may be a problem. The problem is with mush rush, you got to get there, and the problem was they were getting to Aaron Rodgers. That's why he didn't run on that 4th down or that 3rd down. He should have ran.
Mm-hmm.
While he didn't want to run, he didn't think he was going to get there. He ran Rodgers take off.
Yeah.
But why, if you got Mahomes, you're not getting there with Mahomes, because 2 or 3 times sack Mahomes ain't enough. You got to get there at least 5, 6, 7 times. Yeah. And you got to realize the 49ers 4-down lineman was one of the best in the league last year.
Yeah.
And they had a point where they couldn't get to him. If you don't get to him, and he can get to those receivers.
But it's the same thing if you can't get the Brady.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because Mahomes can run. No, it's not. Because Mahomes can run.
But Mahomes can run. But can KC get pressure?
Yeah, no,
he can.
Here's the thing about KC.
They ain't never had a pass.
Hold on. Here's the thing about KC. The KC defense-wise, and I hear what you're saying. KC defense-wise, the strongest part of the defense is the front 4 in the middle of the defense, actually. Chris Jones. Mm-hmm. But here's the problem. They can play a zone. They can slow down the Bucs. The Bucs sometimes can self-explode because they don't have explosive plays all the time. If Antonio Brown doesn't play this game, they lose a lot of explosiveness. They gotta it's gotta be on.
He's playing though.
Yeah, but if he's 100%. So you gotta realize that. So if he's not 100%, they're not gonna be able to do what they want.
So what you telling me is Brady's just as bad as Josh Allen?
No, I'm not
saying.
That's
my point. So that's my point with James.
Brady, I'm talking about getting pressure where you got to make Brady.
No, that's what I'm saying. Did you see what they did to Josh Allen? That front 4, they rushed 4 and covered with 7.
And they did.
And how many?
But hold on. But Josh Allen doesn't have the same weapons as Brady. Brady has better weapons.
No,
better
but what I'm saying
the running aspect of it.
Yeah, but the running aspect of it, Josh Allen was running like 20, 30
But
yards.
Buffalo don't have a running game. Buffalo don't have a running game.
You're talking about Josh Allen who doesn't have a running game. Doesn't have the O-line. The O-line. Listen. The Tampa Bay O-line is better.
Yeah,
okay. They're the better O-line between the two anyway.
And they got a running game.
But the problem is, yeah, they have a running game. But the problem is, it's another thing. They get behind, it's over.
So you going with KC sound like?
No, here's the thing.
Pick them.
Yeah, you got to make it.
Who pick? You pick?
Everybody pick.
Everybody
pick. We waiting on your pick.
Here's the thing.
Sound like you might be leaning to me.
Here's the thing.
Come on home, James. Come on.
You know what a man said, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's scary.
Come on.
Boy, scary.
Come on home, James. Come on home.
Said, boy, it's just scary.
It's Brady, one game for it all.
There it goes. Ain't better guess him.
No, he lost to Eli and Nick Foles.
But he's also beat some incredible games. Like, he was down. I was a witness. Listen, I was in Houston for the party. I was there ready for the party. I was in Houston. I was ready for the party.
Hold up. I know you're not blaming the Philly game on Brady. Their defense can stop nobody.
Now, hold up. We just had – I ain't even going to say that. I'm not even going to say that.
Raymond, what's his pick?
I'm not even going to say that.
Hold on. For 500 something.
And he was behind. What are you talking about?
No, they was going back and forth.
No, they wasn't going back and forth. Philly was smashing them from the beginning. Keith, did you watch the game?
Okay, we're going to be on James.
Hold on. Did you watch the game?
I did.
And Philly was smashing them from the beginning to the end, bro. Just because he threw for 5, hold on. So you proving my argument that quarterbacks shouldn't get all the glory, quarterbacks shouldn't get all the blame.
I said
no. When I said that last week, y'all jumped down my throat. Quarterbacks should not get all the glory and shouldn't get all the blame. And what did you say last week?
But that's how the NFL is.
No, that don't mean it's right.
You blaming Brady right now for losing to Philly
Bro,
New York.
I'm using what y'all used on me last week. Y'all said that when Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers lost to Tampa Bay, what did you say? Aaron Rodgers lost the game.
When they win, they get the credit.
No. When Aaron Rodgers, hold on. When Aaron Rodgers lost, when they win, do Aaron Rodgers get the credit? Do Brady get the credit for every championship?
Yes.
So he lost to Nick Foles and he lost to Eli.
Yes.
Who fault it is?
They blame Brady, but I'm just saying he played well in both of those games.
No, he didn't.
Who you pick?
No, you just go for 500 yards and have a bad game. What are you talking about?
He have a bad game.
I'm going to say that I've been thinking about this for last week, right? And it's been heavy on my heart. And I do not like cheering.
Yeah, like Atlanta playing or something.
I do not like cheering for Brady.
I've been thinking too for a whole week.
And I've been watching. I've been like, man, it's been so many different things. Like, Kansas City, both tackles out. They had a COVID-19 barber they had to pull. And now a couple of players had to go through protocol because of it.
Nah, they back.
No, hold on. Let me finish. I didn't say that. I said they had to go through protocol. So it's so many facets to this game that I feel like I hate to say this. I do feel like the Bucs gonna win.
See that? I feel it too.
I think KC's gonna pull this shit out.
So who you going with?
I'm gonna go with KC.
Okay, you going with KC.
I'm gonna go with KC because I just feel like it's too much talent offensively, and even though the Bucs defense is playing at an amazing rate, if they would have played last weekend, I'd have picked the Bucs. But because they had 2 weeks, I don't like the fact that what's the head coach for the Chiefs? Andy Reid. I don't like that his son out hitting people, causing accidents and everything in Tampa. Right. That takes away from the game plan. It takes away from the talent. It takes away from a lot of different things. But I just feel like Kansas City is going to win this game. I feel like Mahomes is going to be super. It's just that 2-week layoff gives him time to get that toe healed a little bit, get him a little bit more laser focused. But it's going to be close. Tampa's not going away. And they got a lot of good weapons. They just don't have the explosive plays. And that's the one thing I saw the Chiefs that caused problems is teams who had the explosive play. They can get down the field. The Raiders had explosive players. They got the ball down the field. And I don't know, man. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm going with Tampa.
Yeah.
Either way.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. I always win against the grain. Every game we played, we did. I always win against the grain. And I may change. I think I may change it.
Got to tomorrow.
I got to tomorrow, but I'm gonna go with KC for now.
For now, man, make your pick.
I don't like this for now stuff. You gotta.
Hey, bro, you gotta flip flop, man.
You gotta get on the side of the fence, bro. You can't be.
Listen, Mahomes is ready for this game. He done heard all the chatter.
If I gotta be honest.
Yeah, who you going with?
1% honest. I think Tampa's gonna win.
There you go. That's what
Yeah, I hate choosing with my heart instead of because it's always got me in every thought of life. It's always got me in trouble. like every time. And, yeah, in every aspect.
So who you going with, man? Come on.
That boy here flip-flopping, man.
I'm going to go.
I told you, when a man say that, he start a sentence like that, it's scary. I told you that.
I think Tampa's going to win. I think Tampa's going to win. I think Tampa's going to win, dog.
You going with Tampa? Welcome to the team, dog.
I'm going with Tampa.
Air bump.
Hey, look.
I'm going with Tampa.
Oh, you know it's bad.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, let me find out. Let me find out who got peer pressure.
No, we actually agreed on a lot of games this season. A lot of games that we agreed on, I'll be like we normally wouldn't agree on. I'll be like, yeah, every Saints game we disagree.
You got these two.
I do feel like I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I kept saying to myself because I'm trying to convince myself, like, no, I think the Chiefs gonna win. But I'm like, brother, everything's on the Bucs. Everything, the way they play, the style, the whole notion of the game is on the Bucs to win this game. If they don't win it, I don't care because my winning record this season has been impeccable.
No,
but
boy, cut it out.
But it has been. But I do feel they're gonna win this game.
No, Kansas City gonna beat them boys by 10. They're gonna beat them by 10.
And we're gonna have to make that.
And the reason why I said they're gonna beat them by 10 is now that they already know the Bucs can only play one way. They can only blitz Mahomes.
They ain't blitzing Mahomes.
No, that's the only way. Because if they don't blitz Mahomes, he's gonna tell him my fault. He's gonna tell him my fault. So because Tom Bowles sit back, because Tom Bowles
now you don't have time to Pierre Paul.
No, they're gonna chip him. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. Listen, Andy Reid has been in this game for years.
But here's the problem.
He understands.
Here's the problem with you keep saying about the chip. They're gonna do it. If you watch the Green Bay game, if you watch the game against the Saints, I said this before. They do a 5-man rush, which means it's hard to chip because now you got the fifth rusher coming in. So and it's always a linebacker who's more fast and quicker. So I mean, listen, Mahomes can run, and I think the Kansas City has a chance to win this game. I mean, if they win the game, I ain't gonna be shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But at the end of the day, man.
So
and Mahomes better not get caught by Devin White sneaking out there.
Brady better not get caught.
Brady ain't running.
But let's keep moving forward. Let's move forward because we got to move on to the show. So Dr. Wyatt, I had another question for you. We had a question on this, but I'm gonna go somewhere else with this question.
Okay.
Our last question on top of it. Tell me one thing about the Super Bowl that you just love to see, right? Like all the things going on. Just tell us about one thing about the Super Bowl that you're looking forward to seeing.
That I'm looking forward to seeing?
Yeah. Because I had something about we already talked about Hill and how it's supposed to be going to be. We get that part. But tell me something, whether it's the commercials, whether it's actually the game, whether it's the concert. Tell me about something like you're looking for.
I don't care anything about any of that. I'm not for symbolism. I want to see the NFL really do something real in terms of sustainable social justice reform. If you're not talking that,
I like that. Okay.
There's really nothing to talk about because like coming out now talking about the old Kaepernick, a debt of gratitude. Well, the window for him playing is closed. That's closed at this point. I don't even think he wants to play. So how do you make up for that? And you have to really start putting some social justice measures in place. And we could start by acknowledging the fact that this white NFL player beat the shit out of a black woman and nobody's talking about it in the NFL. But I can remember when Ray Rice it was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. And I mean, there has to be some consistency in the way that we govern our athletes in the NFL. And it cannot be predicated on if they're black or white. If you do something that goes against the moral clause of your contract, you have to have some consistency in the way that you deal with your athletes. Because when I think about Kaepernick, I think about Tim Tebow. He was kneeling for whatever reason he was kneeling for. He wasn't dealt with in the manner that Kaepernick was. And so you have to acknowledge the fact that you handled him that way because he was bringing light to issues that affect marginalized people. And until the NFL puts some measures in place that are real in terms of social justice, I really don't care about symbolism. You could let whoever you want sing. You could talk the talk all you want. You can say Black Lives Matter, but until you show me, it really doesn't matter because even in their contracts, white quarterbacks are paid a lot more than black quarterbacks. They have a lot more opportunity than black quarterbacks. And that's just a fact. So from money to the way that they're handled, to the way the referees handle them in the game, white is treated a lot differently than black and brown people. And that's just my honest purview on that subject. So it's social.
Hey, I love it. I appreciate it. D, tell me your thoughts on the same thing, man.
Hey, man, she hit the nail on the head. She was light and easy on that one. Because for real, and you can look at how, you hire a 65-year-old coach down in Houston. You hire a lot of these other young dudes, and you have very qualified people. Even with Matt Patricia getting hired in Detroit, and then you have my man Caldwell up there, had the team rolling. You fire him, and then you bring in this other guy. He can't even get the team moving. So it's amazing to me how you fire, great coaches, black coaches. You fire them, and then you bring in other coaches, and they don't even move the needle. It's just amazing to me. And I think she's right. Like, until the NFL itself and the owners realize, like, hey, we need to make a change. That's going to be hard because it's a good old boy club. It's going to be real hard to get these owners to really see. And like we always talked about before, the only way the owners going to see if the players just stop.
Yeah.
I mean, if the players just make up in their mind, like, you know what, we're going to cut this money off from you all. You know what I'm saying? Until they take a stand, and that's going to be and that's not going to happen because a lot of dudes like, well, man, y'all got paid, so we need to get paid too. Yeah. So it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. But she hit the nail on the head with what's really going on.
Yeah, thanks.
Just to elaborate on everybody else saying, either on both sides. For Tampa, you got a black offensive coordinator, you got a defensive coordinator. Same thing from Kansas City side. I want to see these guys get a head coaching job, not just invite them in the room for an interview, just to say we checked all what they call it, the
boxes.
The Rudy rule.
That rule trash.
And I want to see these guys get a head coaching job, and also with Deshaun Watson, I want to see him follow through what he's doing. He can be the first one to actually start to make change in the NFL. By reporting the camp saying, look, I want to get out. I want to put my future in my own hands. Well, it was just this old school quarterback. I can't think of the name. Came out saying he don't respect him no more. He just want him to
Favre. He should have been playing.
No, it was a coach too. It was Favre.
But Joe Theismann said it.
And it was a head coach back in the day. I can't think of the head coach. Like, he's been doing great, but I just want him to come play the organization, make the rules. Wow, this is my future. So I want Deshaun to follow through and don't show up. I don't care if he got to miss a year of football. Like, he got to change the narrative where they can have control like the NBA players. So that's what I'm looking for.
Super Bowl gonna be always great. You know what I'm saying? I just look for a good game. I don't care who wins. I know we talked about the enemy getting the job. I truly think, and I don't, of course you don't know, I think Andy might step down a little early and let the enemy have that job at KC. Because you have Mahomes for another 10, 15 years, and it'll be a great situation for him. And Andy is no spring chicken. He's getting up in age. And I can see that situation where Andy going to the front office and the owner say, look, you see how the enemy is getting passed over. You know he's great at what he do. You see what he's doing in this business. I think he can do it, bro. I think that might be a possible situation with KC.
Well, but to your point, that speaks to the heart of the matter. You have to almost put your career in the hands of another. I mean, at the end of the day, Andy Reid is a white man as well. So the bottom line to it is, if the white man doesn't move out of the way and make way for this black man to have a job, he won't have a job. So the tone and the temperament of the NFL has to change. And I think if you guys paid attention to what happened with the stock market, how regular people were able to affect the type of change that you saw with the stock market, is going to take that level of coming together as regular people to force the NFL to make some sort of decision, because we are the people that, create the revenue for them, and the people have to stick together all at one time and say, enough is enough. Some change.
Dr. Wyatt, let's not bring that up. I lost a lot of money the other day off AMC. I lost a lot of money. That
game stopped.
Soon that thing went caught a little bit up on the incline. I was like, yeah, we can get 1,000 of that. And now that thing went down real fast.
I mean, but think about why that happened, though. The moment regular folks start to do what rich people have been doing for the beginning of time,
buying
now it's a problem.
Buying short sale stock, and I was all in. I was like, yeah, you get that money. You get AMC up to that 300-400. I was selling immediately.
And they fix your black behind, and they just started telling you can't touch this, right? They just took it all the way down.
And I said, I'm gonna keep it. I don't care what happens. I'm gonna keep it and see where it goes, and then it should manifest. But I tell anybody, bet on weed stock anyway. So don't worry about it. Bet on weed stock. But you're absolutely correct. I think the same thing. Everything everybody's been saying. Hopefully, this is a change in the guard. I hope Deshaun. I don't want to use him as a marker, as representation. What is that?
Nothing.
Okay. Representation of what we have going on, what should happen and moving in the future. But I do look forward to seeing what happens in Houston, because Deshaun can be something that can always, that we can, I mean, I don't want to use his career as an example, but he will become an example because he wasn't even at his peak yet.
Mm-hmm.
And if something happens, he can't continue his career, oh my goodness, it'd be terrible. It'd be terrible for so many different people. So the fact that, we have somebody in his 9 minute, not even his prime, and ready and willing to sacrifice his career for a year because he feels like, hey, that's strong. If this is not where I want to be, I don't want to play here. I want to be part of this association. I want to run this organization that's racist and simplify a lot of different things. I want to listen to players demand, players accountability. They want players to be accountable. They don't want to listen to them as they move forward. I look forward to seeing this. So I'm super excited about that. So Dr. Wyatt, Dr. Something Wyatt, man, we appreciate you for joining us on these topics right here. We're always excited having you join us. We need to have you here more often. You came, you brought that. You brought it, you know what I mean?
They say you don't watch football. You sure came prepared.
For real.
Say you boycott. I mean.
Here's the thing, though. I'm a researcher by nature, so I have to you. I have to go.
Okay.
That teaching you.
So let me ask you one question that you did not research that you heard about. One question.
All right, good.
What do you think about the NBA having an All-Star game in Atlanta? Give me your thoughts real quick.
What do I think about the NBA having an All-Star game?
An All-Star game this season, and it's in Atlanta in March. What do you think?
Listen, I'm not mad at it. Atlanta is like the Black Mecca, So I think, I think Black people, I love Black folk. I love people, but I'm all for advancing, us as a people. And so, I mean, anything that brings opportunity to our people, I'm with it. I think what LeBron James has done in terms of his platform for the NBA, somebody in the NFL has to take that sort of stance, because LeBron James knows his work, and he knows if he says something, the entire NBA is watching and they're listening and they're making changes based on the stuff that he's saying. I mean, when have you ever seen a Black man get a rich white girl kicked out of anything?
Well, hold on. So I'm glad you said that about LeBron. Give me your thoughts. Hold on. LeBron's against having the All-Star game in Atlanta or All-Star game, period. So how do you feel? LeBron just said that. You just brought up LeBron.
Listen, and if he's against it, I guarantee the NBA is going to listen. So that's why.
But they're not. They're going to have it anyway.
I just don't. Listen. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if the athletes want to do it, they can do it. I don't really care about fanfare and all of that stuff. My focus has always been on real reform, real change. And so for me, I don't care one way or the other if they want to have it or not have it. But I do think that LeBron is using his voice in a way that the athletes in the NFL have yet to realize that they also have the power to do.
Right.
And I think if the NBA and the NFL actually partner in terms of the Black athletes across both of those sports, you won't have to beg for change. They will bend at their will. And I just don't think that they've realized that they actually have the power. And I think somebody like Patrick Mahomes can be what LeBron is to the NBA, because he's now the face of the NFL in terms of quarterbacks, on the rise and everything. So I think his voice and the fact that he's biracial helps the cause of racial equity.
Absolutely. So Sean, before you get out here, Dr. White, before you get out here, just tell us what you got going on for you all.
Listen, I always have some things going on. I'm actually teaching at the university right now. So I teach.
What university? You said before, but what university?
I teach at the University of New Orleans right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm hoping to teach a course at Tulane. I'm interested. They're interested. Hopefully it works out. I'm just running my own organization.
What course are you teaching? So we know.
So I taught curriculum instruction and assessment. So I teach teachers. So the people that go into the classrooms to teach your children, they have to come see me first. So
absolutely. Cool. Okay.
Awesome.
Absolutely. That's dope.
Awesome.
That's dope. We love that. We love having you on. We're gonna have you on really soon.
Yep.
So we appreciate you just took time.
I told y'all, anytime you want me, I'm at your disposal.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, damn it, yeah.
We got no money.
We're broke.
I told y'all
we
love
have
my
no
people.
money.
I do. Listen, I don't. You don't need no money to come talk to me. That's cool.
I appreciate that. Well, you charge everybody else though.
Yeah.
Just don't do anything for free now. Don't do anything for free now. Like free cool for certain people. Cool ain't for everybody.
I want the check.
Know your worth. Listen, know your worth.
Yeah, you gotta get that money.
You know as well. You've only spoken to me twice, but I guarantee you know that I know my worth. If don't nobody,
you do know your worth. You know your worth. And Bruce Eugene, you stay by. We gotta talk right quick. We got a long discussion.
Give me her check, brother. Give me her check. She don't want to give me her check.
Hey, well, we're gonna definitely make that bet though. I'm calling you. We making that bet before tomorrow.
Let's do it.
I'll go live on social media when you lose this bet, and you know
calling you out. Put you on Front Street.
Me, so you know, you know what.
You better make that bet very interesting. I don't know. What's this bet gonna be?
I can hold my own. Either way the cut go, I can hold my own. So
let's go. Let's do it. All right. We love you, man.
We love you, Dr. Wyatt.
Take
care of yourself. All
right, cool.